warm welcome. You're watching the News Hour Special Edition with me, Priya Behel. When Narendra Modi became the Prime Minister, his more intelligent admirers hoped that he would facilitate the lateral entry of experts into higher levels of government. For he had come with an impressive mandate and was known to be a tough, if not ruthless operator. Alas, he has done no such thing. The dominance of the underqualified, risk-averse and politically subservient IAS in the central government continues. In fact, in recent years, this dominance has actually expanded as retired IAS officers are given top posts in regulatory institutions, posts that should really be filled by acknowledged experts in these fields. This is not me saying this. This is noted historian and, if I may say, one of the staunchest Modi critics, author and historian Ramchandra Guha. Yes, you heard it right. 8 years ago, this is the criticism that came the way of Modi Sarkar. Today, the scenario has changed, but compulsive criticism has not. The INDIA bloc, led by leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi, has opened a front against the same Modi government over its latest push to bring in specialists, 45 of them, through lateral entry into bureaucracy. UPSC, in its latest ad, has called for applications for mid-level posts in 24 ministries, marking the largest lateral entry exercise since the year 2019. The roles of director, joint secretaries and deputy secretaries will soon be filled up by laterals. Now, Congress MPs accusing the centre of snatching away quota from SC/STs as reservation criteria is not applicable to these appointments. Others say this is a bid to bring in RSS affiliates into bureaucracy through backdoor entry and to privatize civil services.
So far, between 2017 and 21, 52 appointments took place at the same levels through lateral entry, and no SC/ST reservations were adhered to. So there is a conspiracy being hatched by the government and the ruling party to ensure backdoor entry and dilute reservation. Therefore, when Mr. Rahul Gandhi says that out of 90 secretaries of Government of India, only 3 belong to the reserved category, he makes a lot of sense, and therefore the concern.
संविधान और आरक्षण पर निगाह है भारतीय जनता पार्टी की। उन्हें जब मौका मिलता है आरक्षण से खिलवाड़ करते हैं, संविधान की कैसे धज्जियां उड़े, कैसे उसमें क्या रास्ता निकाला जाए जिससे अपने लोगों को वो संतुष्ट कर दें या खुश कर दें। तो हो सकता है भारतीय जनता पार्टी किसी नए भ्रष्टाचार की तैयारी कर रही हो और लेटरल एंट्री वाले लोगों से करा करके वो फिर भाग जाएं भारत छोड़ करके।
भारतीय जनता पार्टी पूरे देश में पिछड़ों का, दलितों का, आदिवासियों का आरक्षण खत्म करना चाहती है। ये तो इस देश की जनता का धन्यवाद है कि उन्होंने 240 पर बीजेपी को रोक दिया, वरना तो अब तक आरक्षण और संविधान दोनों खत्म हो गया होता। मैं समझता हूं कि अब इस देश की जनता को समझना होगा, और जो पार्टनर इनके साथ में है, वो चाहे टीडीपी हो, जेडीयू हो, आरएलडी हो या फिर चिराग पासवान जी की पार्टी हो, तो इन लोगों को भी सोचना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये उसी राजनीति से ऊपर आए हैं।
So the questions that are now being asked and demand answers from the opposition are: why does reservation not apply to these entries? Does it mean privatization of civil services? Lateral entry, is it anti-constitutional, as the opposition is calling it? And what is the basis of the recruitment via RSS claim? Or finally, is it the opposition trying to play the government will end quota card once again after its recent success in Lok Sabha elections? Did it work for them then? Will it work for them again now? To answer all these questions and more, we are now joined by Karan Verma, who's the author, Ratan Sharda, who's also an author, Lokesh Jindal, political analyst, Dr. Akashdeep Muni, a political analyst as well, and Tariq Khan, Samajwadi Party's national spokesperson. So I'll start where I started from. Does it look like a case of damned if you do, damned if you don't? Because just 8 years ago, in 2016, you see on your screens was Ramchandra Guha was saying. He was criticizing Prime Minister Narendra Modi for not doing exactly what he has done now, for the second time. The first time it was done in 2018, 2019. And yet he's getting criticism for it. My question is, it's for you, Lokesh Jindal, first, and then we'll get others in.
I have a strong objection towards calling IAS officers underqualified, risk-averse and politically subservient. No, absolutely not.
That was Ramchandra Guha doing it. That wasn't me. I was quoting him.
I'll tell you, if you talk about top bureaucrats, administrative services, they differ a lot from private sector employment and private sector job that is done in the market. You have administrative law, you have a politico-administrative structure within which you have to function. Over here, profit maximization is not the sole objective. It also involves a distinct code of conduct, ethical standards that has to be maintained. With respect to domain experts, if you're talking about experts, they are always consulted too. Now, in the present regime also, we have had one of the highest budget outlays given to the consultants. And their advice is taken on board. And even the IAS officers, they are graduates from the top universities. They are IITians, they are from IIMs. And during their period also of their tenure, they go to various top universities, complete the courses. Time and again, they go to various places to have to undergo some programs and get all forms of expertise that is required. So I do not find any reason over here to question the ability, credibility, capability, excellence of our IAS officers. We have one of the finest bureaucracies in the world, without any doubt.
So you're
and
saying...
Secondly, when you're talking about lateral entry, please tell me what is the criteria on which you are choosing the merit? Is there any predetermined form of a selection process, or it is entirely arbitrary? Because over here you are appointing somebody for a government post, and there has to be a right to equality. If somebody is denied that entry into that particular post, on what basis has the legal rational principle of meritocracy been adhered to? And is it some form of an interview? Is it some form of an examination?
There is an entire process to it. There is a UPSC board that sits and screens the candidates. 9,000 is the number of candidates who applied in 2018, 2019, and finally people were selected. But let me not answer that question. Karan Verma, could you please answer Lokesh Jindal's queries? If merit is the criteria, then what are the parameters?
So Lokesh Jindal was, very eloquently telling us about ethics, about merit and all of this. And I respect his viewpoint. I would just ask him a simple yes or no question. Do you think Dr. Manmohan Singh was a capable bureaucrat, and do you think he added value to this country ethically and merit-wise? Yes or no? Please answer.
Yes, certainly he did.
Lokesh, please.
Yes,
certainly he did. Thank
yes.
you so much. Lokesh, he was a lateral entry in 1972. He was a lateral entry in 1972 as the chief economic advisor, and then he served as the secretary in the finance ministry.
Post.
So Lokesh, lateral entries can also be meritorious.
Now, Karan, you're getting grossly mistaken.
He served as a bureaucrat later as a secretary in the finance ministry.
That is chief economic advisor or the governor who falls completely beyond the domain of the regular bureaucracy.
Yes, so that
I am talking about administrative services.
He served as the secretary in the finance ministry in 1976.
Sir, you're grossly mistaken.
Please let me complete.
Let me correct you.
He served as a bureaucrat after that.
You're grossly mistaken.
Well, Priya, can you please fact check him then? 1976, he served as the secretary in the finance ministry. He served as a bureaucrat after that, and he's a lateral entry. Mr. Montek Singh Ahluwalia is another lateral entry. So, our bureaucracy, as good as it may be, time and again, it was Mr. Rajiv Gandhi.
The Planning Commission is entirely different from government departments.
Sir, I think as a layman, the only difference I see is those appointments were made in your time, and they were not after some ads were put out in the newspapers.
Wait,
whether it is Manmohan Singh, whether it is Montek Singh Ahluwalia, whether it is Homi Bhabha, all of these, were they or were they not lateral entries?
Let me add to it further.
Wait, allow me to speak.
Can I make my point further? Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, the then Prime Minister, let me please complete, Lokesh, please.
Yes, everybody will get their time. Let him finish.
Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, the then Prime Minister, please. Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, the Congress Prime Minister, the country's Prime Minister, he was all for lateral entries in bureaucracy. Even he went ahead and said on 6th November 1990 on the floor of the House that I am against OBC reservation because it will kill merit. In fact, I am all for lateral entries into our bureaucracy. That is how far he went, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi. So, it's very convenient for Lokesh or Congress Party or Samajwadi Party to pick and choose their times. They have been all for lateral entries, and lateral entries is the need of the hour, Priya. I mean, if you have an irrigation project, imagine this, if there is a domain expert for that, of course he'll add value. In fact, Delhi is a prime example that has been suffering because time and again a sanitation master plan is discarded. They've had IIT Kharagpur on board, other institutes on board, and they've struggled with it. If only they had a domain expert, they would have been able to solve it. In fact, the Karnataka government, the Congress Karnataka government, they had Deloitte, they had BCG on board, and still they are struggling with asset monetization and how to raise more funds. So in that case, if you have financial experts, it will help your cause. So you should be talking about pushing the envelope for governance rather than politicking over everything and looking at everything through the prism of identity politics. That's my submission.
Now, Lokesh Jindal, I will come to you, but let me set the facts on record. Now, we'll play out for our viewers what a minister had said on the floor of the House regarding the capacity in which Manmohan Singh had served in the finance ministry. Listen into that and then I'll give you your chance to retort.
I would slightly disagree that it is not this government which has brought it. We have only streamlined the process. Lateral entry in the government of India has existed for decades together, and one of the most illustrious lateral entry was none less than the former Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh ji, who was appointed Chief Economic Advisor way back in 1972, then Secretary in the Finance Ministry in 1976. If the chairman permits, I can go on with the list. We have Dr. Montek Singh Ahluwalia, who was Economic Advisor appointed in 1979. Shri Vijay Kelkar, Finance Secretary 1998. So if the list is too long, what I am trying to say is that this is something which had already persisted, and with due regard to the decision taken by the earlier governments, I think it was with the best of the intentions.
Lokesh Jindal, please go on.
Dr. Manmohan Singh was already a professor in the Punjab University. Prior, then he was a professor in Delhi School of Economics. He was already a gazetted officer, a class one, holding a class one post. And subsequently, where he was very much eligible so as to occupy any particular position that was available for that particular.
So what makes you think that the people who are going to apply for these 45 posts are not going to be eligible or qualified?
Because we want to know what is the criteria via which these people who are applying are eligible. For example, I would say, why aren't you ineligible? Why don't you become the joint secretary? You have all the qualifications, you have all the age criteria, but then when the UPSC or the government is coming out with certain form of a testing mechanism, for example, there is one for the UPSC Civil Services examination, via which a person has to undergo a rigorous procedure, following which that person undergoes a training and the person is able to command that particular post.
Okay, fine. Ratan Sharda, can you help us with that? What is the criteria for screening eligible candidates? Congress did not have any, by the way. I don't think Manmohan Singh went through any exams to be appointed what he was, or for that matter, Montek Singh Ahluwalia.
To crack the UGC, he did have to crack an examination to get into the university.
Yeah,
what time will get?
Yes, there are reasons for that also, but we let others elaborate on those. Yes, Mr. Sharda.
You see Lokesh Jindal so easily, a very good boxer, keeps on changing the goalpost, keeps on changing the stance. When Karan Verma demolishes all arguments, he comes with a new argument, no, very tame argument. No, Manmohan Singh was different. You are showing every case of brilliant people joining the government in various posts. Do you know what was the criteria at that time? I haven't applied for this lateral post. I don't know what are the criteria. Definitely there is a criteria. Minister clearly said that there are criteria which are smooth. We have fine-tuned them, what was being done earlier. You have whole list coming here. Still he will deny, because their job is only to create fog in the governance,
Sir, what
in
is
the
the
people's
criteria?
mind. And please,
Lokesh Jindal, I didn't want to bore our viewers, but let me tell you, Mr. Sharda, let's get this settled once and for all. Since there are 45 posts, each in different ministry, 24 that I know of, here is the criteria that I could find for one of them, and it is in public domain, Lokesh Jindal. If you would have wanted to do your research, you would have found the answers. For director level post, education is mentioned, BE, BTech, information technology, computer science, blah, blah, blah. Experience, 10 years experience in IT consulting, official statistics, large databases with at least 5 years experience in Linux-based cloud server, etc., etc. Because you need specialists, they have specified the criteria. What is your...
If you are eliminating somebody...
Sir, I will now let Ratan Sharda finish his point before I come back to you, Lokesh Jindal.
Now coming to IS, everybody knows UPSC has become rusted. It is outdated. It's a British construct and it must be modified. It must be given new life. But we have people like Pooja Khedkar, whom they respect. And she is the kind of product that is coming out same UPSC. You have IS officers amassing crores of rupees. It is ethical. Every day IS officers are rated. They have crores of assets which are illegal assets. So don't teach me on the ethics part. Now I'll take another stance. These people, when they say that aap isko ghusayenge, usko ghusayenge, you show all the lateral entries. You will show the new lateral entries. Now come to think of it, NSE, a super body over the UPA government, which controlled policy making, which control appointments, which control files. There is a file release. 710 files have been made public in 2017. File noting shows Sonia Gandhi's word was final. And who are the people in NSE who today are called urban Naxals? Many of them went to jail. You have got person is not even Indian citizen. He was giving lectures or to IS officers. Was the training you're talking of? And you had this Sanjay Baru telling us that the files used to go to Sonia. She used to have an upper hand through Pulok Chatterjee. She was doing completely every day. She had a meeting. Is this the kind of governance you want? So you will have urban ultra left JNE products trying to run the government through the back door, but you won't allow direct, transparent entry into the government through bureaucrats. You will not allow that. You will allow a rocket system to continue from British time. Have you done any modification to IS training, to IS behavior with the public? You have not done. So they become babus of that time. They become brown and grey.
Mrs. Sharda, we don't necessarily have to undermine the caliber of the force that exists.
One more thing. Why are they against creamy layer? Court says put creamy layer in place, but these leftists, these secular casteist people.
Mr. Sharda, that's a separate debate. Let's not conflate the two, although eventually they will get conflated. But that's a separate debate. We'll come to the reservation aspect of it, because first I wanted to get out of the way the merit aspect of it and whether lateral entries are such a taboo. Because as Jitendra Singh said, they didn't even start it. It's just that now proper process is being followed. There are advertisements that are being put out in newspapers. So Akashdeep Muni, what would you think is the criteria for backdoor entry? When somebody puts out advertisements in national newspapers and then people apply for those posts and go through a screening process and get the job? Or when people just get appointed because somebody in a party thinks that they are eligible for it?
See, Priyaji, through the lateral entry scheme, today it seems that there is a sabotage within Bharatiya Janata Party. We have seen the 2024 elections. The reservation and constitution under threat was such a big issue. And after that, this step is taken by Bharatiya Janata Party by removing SC, ST, OBC reservation.
No, they haven't.
Lateral entry scheme.
No, they haven't removed it. It doesn't qualify for reservation.
I'll prove it to you.
Please do.
The 13-point scheme, the 13-point scheme that you are talking about, the 13-point roster that you are talking about, that was the issue in 2018 also, and today is also a big issue. Where what you do is that you exploit it. How do you exploit it? In reservation by which a single post cadre reservation does not apply. So in this 45 posts, if it has been done naturally, 6 SC, 3 ST, 12 OBC, and 4 EWS category people would have been selected, but now there is not there because they have exploited it in such a way that only single post for a single cadre is given. Now, why I say that there is sabotage, because previously also it happened as per the Honorable Minister was speaking. Interestingly, in 29 November 2018, DOPT gave out a statement quote unquote, I'm quoting the DOPT statement, mandatory reservation of SC, ST, OBC is not necessary. This never happened. So when this type of things is done, it seems like that Bharatiya Janata Party is going to create a mistrust between itself and the backward communities. Today, through lateral entry scheme, we will become joint secretary without passing UPSC civil services examination.
Before it becomes too confusing, Karan Verma, so I have that document that Akashdeep Muni is referring to, and it says over here, the present arrangement of filling up these posts may be deemed as a close approximation of deputation, where mandatory reservation for ST, SC, OBCs is not necessary. However, if a duly eligible SC, ST, OBC candidate is eligible, they should be considered, and priority may be given to such candidates in similarly situated cases for ensuring holistic representation. Now, I did not selectively quote like Akashdeep Muni, but Karan Verma, is the government trying to subvert and exploit the system? Because let me simplify it for our viewers. So what Akashdeep Muni was saying is basically there is a 13-point roster which gives you a criteria. If there are certain number of posts, you have to divide them according to the reservation and the percentage. So if there are 45 posts, according to that, approximately 23 to 25 seats would have gone to the reservation category. However, since the notification for every single job was issued individually, the criteria does not apply. Is it subversion and deliberate exploitation of rules, Karan Verma?
So, we are hearing this, Priya, and I'm so glad you quoted the entire thing. I was just about to quote it. So now that you've quoted it, so Akashdeep cannot play the mischief of selectively cherry picking. But, the whole thing that BJP is against reservation, BJP wants to remove reservation, is coming from those people who are actually slashing the funds for SC and ST in Telangana, who are actually doing the Valmiki scam. I mean, so much for hypocrisy. They are the ones who've actually gone about looting the funds of SC, ST, and then they preach that BJP is against reservation. Fact is, Priya, they have no political capital today. The only political card that they can play is that BJP is against reservation. Governance be damned, irrigation problems be damned, critical infrastructure be damned. All they care about is somehow spread this facade, which they spread in 2024, and they gained politically out of it. They're still in opposition, but they gained politically out of it. So they think this is the one trick pony that they have. Time and again, they are going to play this, saying that BJP is anti-reservation, though at the other end, they are going to be looting funds as they did in Karnataka, where the Valmiki scam, they've looted the funds of the SC, ST. So this is not going to work. It happened once. It's not going to work. The truth is, BJP is calling a spade a spade. There are critical issues that this country needs to solve, and there we cannot look through the prism of caste and religion. Okay. Let me tell you this. Let me tell my good friend Akashdeep, he's a doctor. If tomorrow, God forbid, somebody has to get an operation done, will someone look at it through the prism of caste, whether an OBC is doing my operation, or a Jat is doing my operation, or a Hindu is doing my operation? No. There are times when you need those kinds of surgeries, and you need specially trained people for it, irrespective of caste. That is what we need here.
No, talking about elections, Tariq Khan, आपके स्टेट में तो अभी बाइपोल होने वाले हैं. करण वर्मा इज सेइंग कि आपका एक बार लोकसभा में जो कार्ड चल गया, तो आप अब उसी को बार-बार भुनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. Do you think that is the reason why Rahul Gandhi sees an attempt to snatch away SC/ST quota? Not just Rahul Gandhi, Akhilesh Yadav, everybody else in the INDIA bloc.
It has been proved. It has been proved. You have seen in the Shikshak Bharti what they have done. Reservation should be 27%, and they brought down it to 3%. What is this? This is not eating the reservation.
नहीं, हम आएंगे, हम उसके बारे में भी बात करेंगे. जो 69,000 जॉब्स के ऊपर हाईकोर्ट का ऑर्डर आया है, उसके बारे में भी बात करेंगे. पहले आप सिविल सर्विसेज में लैटरल एंट्री की बात कीजिए ना. तारिक खान, बहुत समय है, हम बात करेंगे शिक्षक भर्ती की भी. आप हमें ये बताइए कि हाउ इज गिविंग ओपनिंग 45 पोस्ट्स फॉर एवरीवन, टेकिंग अवे SC/ST कोटा.
सब पे आ रहा हूं, बोलने दीजिए. ये काम ये लोग हर डिपार्टमेंट में कर रहे हैं. ठीक, जॉन ब्रिटस ने 31/7/2024 को पूछा कि ये प्रोफेसर ऑफ प्रैक्टिस क्या होता है. एक नई थ्योरी आई है, जो न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी है, उसके तहत प्रोफेसरों को रखा जाएगा और उनको कहा जाएगा प्रोफेसर ऑफ प्रैक्टिस, और उसमें कोई रिजर्वेशन नहीं लागू होगा. ये क्या है? ऐसे ही आप लैटरल एंट्री भी लेके आए हैं जिसमें कोई, अरे महिलाओं को रिजर्वेशन दे दीजिए, आप तो कहते हैं आप बिल लेके आए।
तारिक खान 45 नौकरियां हैं,
महिलाओं को दे दीजिए ना महिलाओं को, आप भी तो महिला हैं, क्यों नहीं दे देते? महिलाओं को दे देना रिजर्वेशन। आई एम नॉट आस्किंग फॉर ओबीसी, इवन एससी और एसटी, महिलाओं को तो दे दें, थोड़ा बढ़ावा मिल जाएगा। आप कहते हैं आप रिजर्वेशन देने वाले हैं, महिलाओं को 2026 तक टाल दिया, अभी दे देते हैं इसी में। आई एम नॉट आस्किंग फॉर एससी एसटी एंड ओबीसी।
सर समाजवादी पार्टी को तो महिला आरक्षण के बारे में नहीं ही बोलना चाहिए, मतलब मुलायम सिंह यादव जी सुनेंगे तो क्या ही कहेंगे।
अब नहीं है मुलायम सिंह यादव जी, आपके भी बहुत लोग चले गए होंगे, उनके बारे में नहीं कहना चाहिए ऐसा। जैसे हमारे जो पूर्वज हैं चले जाते हैं तो वो सुन नहीं पाते हैं, तो उनके बारे में ऐसा नहीं कहना चाहिए कि
मैंने तो कुछ कहा ही नहीं सर। लेगेसी है, आप मानते हैं उनकी लेगेसी को?
कैसे सुनेंगे? अब है नहीं हमारे बीच में ना, जैसे हमारे आपके सबके पूर्वज जा चुके ऊपर, वो नहीं सुन सकते। खैर मैं कह रहा हूं, महिला बिल आप लेके आए, 10% दे देती। आप जानती नहीं होंगी ये प्रोफेसर ऑफ प्रैक्टिस क्या है, रिसर्च करिएगा, पता करिएगा क्या है, क्यों रखा गया।
नहीं सर, मैं जो जानना चाह रही हूँ आप मुझे वो तो बताइए। आप मुझे ये बताइए कि अगर 45 पोस्ट निकलती हैं तो आप ये क्यों अज्यूम कर लेते हैं कि जो लोग उनके लिए अप्लाई करेंगे और क्वालिफाई करेंगे उसमें मेरिटोरियस SC ST OBCs नहीं होंगे?
बाबा साहब आरक्षण क्यों लेके आए थे? व्हाट इज द रीजन बिहाइंड दैट? क्या आर्थिक आधार पर लेके आए थे? जो लोग समाज में पिछड़े हो गए,
पर हम आर्थिक आधार पे कहां गए? वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट मेरिट। हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं कि प्राइवेट जॉब्स में जो लोग स्पेशलिस्ट होते हैं वो अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, तो स्पेशलिस्ट तो SC ST OBC कोई भी हो सकता है ना
मैम। हर इसीलिए आरक्षण किया गया। ऐसे तो आप कहना चाहती हैं सब जगह से आरक्षण खत्म कर दिया जाए? जो लोग
मैं तो कुछ नहीं कहना चाहती सर।
तो आप कुछ नहीं कहना चाहती तो इस बहस का मतलब क्या है?
मैं तो सवाल पूछना चाहती हूँ, आप जवाब दीजिए, मैं सवाल पूछना चाहती हूँ।
कह रहा हूँ ऐसा करते हैं, मैं आपका पॉइंट ले लेता हूँ, आरक्षण खत्म कर देते हैं। जो लोग
सर नहीं है मेरा पॉइंट, वो क्यों ले लेंगे आप? जो पॉइंट में बना ही नहीं रही वो आप क्यों ले लेंगे? वो तो जबरदस्ती आपका बनाया हुआ पॉइंट है।
मैं कह रहा हूँ मैम, आरक्षण खत्म कर देते हैं, टैलेंटेड लोगों को लेते हैं, जरूरत क्या है?
अरे क्यों कर देते हैं? कर रहा, मैं तो बात ही नहीं कर रही हूँ उस बात की, जो आर्ग्यूमेंट ही नहीं है, यही बात हो गई ना। बट एनीवेज, रतन शारदा, you were talking about how Tariq Khan and the entire opposition has been saying that it is not about isolated incidents. It's not just about these 45 jobs. It is about a larger conspiracy that is at play right now, which shows how government is slowly and gradually working towards eliminating reservation. And that people believe it has been proven by the Lok Sabha results.
Don't want to listen others.
See, there are 1105 a vacant post in UPSC. They are yet to be filled. You put complete reservation there, and why they are not being filled? Ask the BJP. Secondly, when they say that reservation is only for a particular, they have, see, it is not confusion or the campaign of BJP to remove the reservation. It is a propaganda of opposition to remove the reservation. That is why they have, one, as Karan very rightly pointed out, they used it once with all the fake news. They are trying to do it again. We are talking of, he was talking of Mulayam Singh Yadav. Did you question Mulayam Singh's integrity? You said this was his policy. So whether it is dead or alive, it is questioned whether the scheme was right or wrong. We are not abusing anybody. We are saying our own party is what was doing. Lastly, during reservation, what did SP do and what did RJ do? All the OBC seats, 90% of them went to Yadavs only. Is this the kind of reservation they want? Ask them. So they will have their own category. And has anybody heard of Narendra Jadhav? Narendra Jadhav was a SC from Mumbai. Brilliant person, became RBI governor. So do you want these kind of meritorious people to rise, or you want second, third generation creamy layer to rise? That is a question you should be asked. And I am sure that this fakery of reservation being taken away will be exposed in coming days. And if you want no merit in the system, you have no speed in the governance, we will keep on trotting on the speed in which UP and Congress government trotted along for 70, 65, 70 years. And you will not see the speed that we see today. You want speed, somewhere you have to find new way of governance, you have to find new people joining the government. Like UP tried their best, Congress tried its best. Let this government try its best. It is taking anybody's rights. I told 1100 vacancies in UPSC.
And it's worked for you, Lokesh Jindal. You got talents like Raghuram Rajan, Manmohan Singh, Montek Singh Ahluwalia, and if I may say, Sam Pitroda as well. But be that as it may, did Congress party went around asking these people what your caste is and then decide whether they should be given the opportunities that they were given in governance?
See, the whole point is when government is appointing people for the post of joint secretary and senior personals, we see that this is against the continuous reduction in seats in UPSC civil services examinations. Now, during the UPA time, the number of people The posts which were open for the people, it was somewhere around 1,200, 1,300, 1,400. But now it has come down to 900, 950,000. So basically, via competitive examination, the UPSC is recruiting lesser students. And then at the higher posts, via lateral entries, appointments are being done. I don't understand. If the government wants more and more appointments to be done at the higher position, then there could be a method so as to have some form of promotion done, consequential seniority and other aspects being applied, and have more and more people recruited at the
it is
lower
not
level.
about seniority. It is about specialization. It's not about seniority. And as somebody I just today read had very nicely said that while specialization is a matter of opinion, seniority is a matter of fact, and that is a fact that is exploited by a lot of people to climb the ladder in professional spaces, and which is why it makes sense to bring somebody from a private sector, where if today I give this argument to my bosses during appraisal, I'll be kicked out. So I have to work hard to survive and grow. And if somebody then brings in that specialized talent, what is the harm?
No, see, listen, I think anybody who has worked in the bureaucracy knows it very well that specialized consultants are consulted always while making a decision. And there is an ample room for specialization. And I would grossly object to anybody saying that bureaucrats, IAS officers, they lack any form of specialization. They are the finest of the brains in the country. They are the finest of
nobody is disputing that, sir. Nobody is disputing that they are the finest men. In fact, the civil services exam is compared to Harvard and Oxford entrance exams. Yes, but Karan Verma, tell me this: when the training happens, as far as I know, it is training in administration, in day-to-day functioning. Are there specializations also? Let's say, for example, artificial intelligence is the buzzword nowadays. Would a civil servant who's trained in Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy be specialized enough to deal with a policy that involves AI?
They mean that the IAS officer will give
and I'll give you an example from the Congress government.
Then brought in
Congress in
Karan, I'm sorry. I'll let Mr. Sharda speak because he really has to leave, and then you can come in. I'm really sorry. Mr. Sharda, please go on.
I simply said, they mean that IAS officer will be sent out on government course. He will learn that the technology, the expertise, then come back, rather than having a person directly coming with a trained, complete training and join the government for a fixed for years of time and give the same benefit. So you want to keep on spending on the same people to get them training, then move into agriculture department, from there to ISRO, atomic energy department, from there to agriculture, something like that. So you will get them trained at government cost for 2 years, 3 years, sending them outside to get the training which is already available. That is no objection.
Karan Verma, please finish your point.
So, Priya, you actually hit the nail on its head when you talked about artificial intelligence. There are so many upcoming sectors, and all the administrators we have, I agree, we have some very fine administrators, but they are not domain experts of everything. They might be a jack of all, but they are not experts in everything. And I'll give you an example from the Congress government in Karnataka. They've given millions of dollars of contracts to Deloitte and BCG, both multinational giants, and they have still not been able to crack their asset monetization plan just so they can actually manage the deficit that they have in their budget, where the inflation is going up. So rather than doing all these where they're doling out contracts worth millions of dollars, they could have had lateral entry of some people on board to help them with this. Obviously, the bureaucrats who are on board in the Karnataka government right now are not able to solve this crisis, and there's no shame in admitting that. We all need experts, because nobody is all-knowing. I mean, we should all be humble enough to know that.
And let me bring in Akashdeep Muni on this. Given the status of what is happening in the national capital when Arvind Kejriwal is in jail, and we know what is happening with the health infrastructure and the normal infrastructure as well, would it not be better that you have specialist civil servants at your beck and call who can help you with how to deal with these situations?
See, Priyaji, the point that you were talking regarding Delhi is a political issue. There is no talent issue there. The civil servants are talented enough. Because there is a politician who is stopping them to work, that is why it's not happening. First point. Second point is that, Karan, in the last discussion, you asked a very important question. In this point, can the 13-point roster could have been avoided? Yes, it would have been avoided. Karan Verma ji mischievously avoided this question. It has been avoided previously also. In university, what happens when there is one cadre where one post is brought out? In a university level, it is divided into SC, ST, OBC. So it was done previously also. It can be done in this case also. The interesting thing in this case is that DOPT brought out a statement where it said that SC, ST, OBC, EWS reservation is not necessary.
अरे आकाश मुनि जी, अभी तो मैंने आपको पूरा सिलेबस पढ़ के बताया, आप फिर वहीं अपने आधे सेंटेंस में पहुंच गए. The same document that you are quoting ends by saying if duly eligible SC, ST, OBC candidates are eligible, they should be considered and priority may be given to such candidates.
डेट बताइए स्टेटमेंट का.
May 15, 2018, November 29, 2018.
उससे पहले का जो स्टेटमेंट है जो मार्च में आया था 2018 में डीओपीटी ने ये क्लियर किया था कि मैंडेटरी रिजर्वेशन ऑफ एससी एसटी ओबीसी इज नॉट एग्री. उसके बाद जिस
डॉक्यूमेंट के बेसिस पे अपॉइंटमेंट्स हुए हैं हम तो उसी को साइड करेंगे ना.
हाँ, मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ
कैंसिल हो गया ड्राफ्ट की बात कौन करता है. बट
अरे मैडम, मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ कि ना कि 13 पॉइंट रोस्टर अवॉइड किया जा सकता था, इसमें रिजर्वेशन लाया जा सकता था, इसी में जो नहीं किया गया ये मैं समझाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. ये जानबूझ के नहीं किया जा रहा.
ठीक है,
ये यूनिवर्सिटी लेवल में होता है.
It was deliberate. I'm absolutely out of time. Otherwise, I would have taken a counter to this. But I really want Tariq Khan to answer me this. मनोज यादव जी ने कहा है, नरेंद्र मोदी ने अपने 10 साल के कार्यकाल में स्लीपर सेल्स ऑफ आरएसएस को एनरोल किया है थ्रू लैटरल एंट्री. अगर हम इस बात को नजरअंदाज कर भी दें कि इस स्कीम को शुरू हुए ही कुछ 5 या 6 साल हुए हैं, तो ये लैटरल एंट्री ऑफ आरएसएस स्लीपर सेल्स, ये इसका क्या मतलब है और ये कैसे हो सकता है अगर 9,000 पीपल अप्लाइड एंड सम ऑफ देम गॉट सिलेक्टेड आफ्टर ड्यू प्रोसेस. तारिक खान जी, आप शायद म्यूट पर हैं.
What I'm saying is simple and clear. That we want, if there is a vacancy in at the government level, at center level, there should be a provision to have some allocations of the deprived section of the society.
सर वो पॉइंट
simple thing.
तारिक जी, वो पॉइंट तो हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं ना. मैं आपसे ये पूछ रही हूँ कि ये आरएसएस के स्लीपर सेल लैटरल एंट्री से आ रहे हैं, इसका क्या बेसिस है, किस बेसिस पे क्लेम किया है?
Means you can recruit people whom you favor. So उसमें आप अपने फेवरेबल लोगों को तो लेंगे. किसको लेंगे, कैसे पता?
कैसे? वो यूपीएससी के बोर्ड एक इंटरव्यू कंडक्ट करता है सर. वहाँ पे बीजेपी के ऑफिस बेरर्स नहीं बैठते हैं.
I have a question over this. इस पे एक सवाल है, ये भी तो जो एग्जाम हुआ था जिसमें 27 का 3% आरक्षण कर दिया, वो भी तो आयोग करा रहा था, कैसे हो गया 27 का 3%?
कैंसिल कर दिया. अगर 2018 और 2019 में,
अरे कोर्ट ने नहीं कैंसिल किया मैम, सॉरी टू से, सरकार ने भर्तियां की थी. आयोग सरकार के अधीन होता है, मिनिस्ट्री के. उन्होंने भर्ती की थी. 27 का 3 कर दिया, 21 का 16 कर दिया. इसको नहीं मानेंगे आप? ये तो सरकार की गलती नहीं है, यह जिम्मेदारी नेपाल सरकार की है. दिस इज वेरी फेयर. आप दलितों का आरक्षण खा लीजिए नाश्ते की तरह, उसके बाद कहिए अरे कोर्ट ने कर दिया. सरकार, इनके मिनिस्टर असेंबली में खड़े होकर कह रहे थे कि 70% लोग इसमें जो भर्ती हुए हैं वो दलित और ओबीसी के हैं. आपने एफिडेविट दिया कि कोई भर्ती में घोटाला नहीं हुआ है. सरकार जिम्मेदारी नहीं है, आप उनको क्लीन चिट दे.
Nobody is defending the government. They were wrong. People went to court and the decision was overturned. The court has now cancelled those and they have said in 3 months you have to come up with a fresh merit list. It's nobody's case to defend the government where it is wrong, where it has not followed the rules and regulations. But the question here is, who is trying to distort the facts to fit a particular political narrative? That is the question, and I am pretty sure that our viewers are discerning enough to find the answer to that. But I'm completely out of time. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me with your insights and views on the story. We take a very quick break.
The News Hour Special Edition.
I am the future that was born 100 years ago. I am the purpose that emerged with India's independence to be a force for business that makes doing good our business. Towards an independence where knowledge sets us free, to think big and achieve bigger. To take India to the world and the world to India. Creating pathways of self-reliance. To stand for progress, the planet and the people. Towards a future made perfect. And be a force creating abundance. Because independence is not a moment in history. It's a never-ending path to prosperity. Aditya Birla Group, a force for good.
Sir, how was the test drive?
Badass. New Seltos. Tech is now badass.
Kia, movement that inspires.
We know you are leaving the school to go and study, so we brought you this.
Unwrap respect. Gift a Parker today.
Help keep your teen safe with Instagram's family tools, like sensitive content control, helping your teens filter out sensitive content. Default private accounts, allowing your teens to decide who sees and responds to their content. Restricted direct messages. By default, block messages from people your teens don't follow or aren't connected to. And we have tools for parents to help set daily time limits and more. Get started with our 50+ tools at instagram.com/familytools.
The News Hour Special Edition.
Welcome back. The anger over Kolkata rape and murder of trainee doctor continues to boil over. In the latest update, 9 days after the heinous crime, Supreme Court of India has now taken suo motu cognizance of the matter. Apex Court bench, led by CJI D.Y. Chandrachud himself, will be hearing the matter on the 20th of August. Amidst all these hectic developments, parents of the victim have now taken on the Mamata-led TMC government once again. They say that there are several unanswered questions, right from the police probe to cremation of their daughter's body. The parents have raised multiple doubts.
कोई रिजल्ट नहीं मिला है अभी तक। इस जो इंक्वायरी चल रहा है, इसका कोई रिजल्ट नहीं अभी तक मिला है। इसके लिए आशा करने के बाद हम क्या कर सकते हैं? जो क्रिमिनेशन घाट का बारे में बोलता है, श्मशान घाट के बारे में, उधर 3 बॉडी पड़ा हुआ था, लेकिन उसका पहले ही हमारा लड़की का बॉडी जला दिया गया। नहीं, इसमें तो क्या उस टाइम में तो हम लोग तो क्या बोले, हम लोग तो पूरा चूर हो गया। हम इसलिए तो मेरा क्या बोलेगा, सीएम अपने रास्ते में उतर के जस्टिस मांगता है, फिर जो जनरल पब्लिक है उसमें जब जस्टिस मांगता है उसको बंद करने के लिए कोशिश कर रहे हैं। क्या इसके सब क्या बात है? हम लोग तो इससे बहुत दुख आ गया।
বলেছিলেন আপনার বাড়ি যাব, সবকিছু ঠিক হবে, দোষীদের তাড়াতাড়ি ধরে ফেলবো, কিছুই তো দেখতে পেলাম না যে এখনো পর্যন্ত কেউ ধরা পড়লো, কোনো ক্লু পেল। একজন ধরা পড়েছে, ওকে তো আমি মনেই করছি না, ও ভেতরের লোক না থাকলে বাইরের ও কি করে জানলো আমার মেয়ে ওখানে আছে? না না, আমার পুরো ডিপার্টমেন্ট মনে হচ্ছে দায়ী এর জন্য। ভিতরের লোক বলতে আমি পুরো ডিপার্টমেন্টকেই বলছি। এটা তো আশা রাখতেই হবে, আশাই তো বাঁচবো। আমার তো সবই চলে গেছে, কিছুই হারানোর নেই, সব হারিয়ে ফেলেছি, এখন আশা নিয়েই বাঁচবো। স্টেট গভর্নমেন্ট যে বলছে কি কলকাতা পুলিশ ভালো কাজ করেছে, সেটা নিয়ে কি বলবেন? একটু ভালো কাজ করেনি, এমনকি এখন আমাদের সিএম যাতে প্রতিবাদটা বন্ধ করার চেষ্টা করছেন। আমার মনে হচ্ছে আজকে 144 ধারা জারি করে দিয়েছেন এখানে, যাতে মানুষ প্রতিবাদ করতে না পারে। সিপি ওই দিন পুরো দিন হসপিটাল ছিলেন, আপনারাও ছিলেন, ওনার ভূমিকা নিয়ে কি বলবেন? উনি আমাদের সঙ্গে কোনো সহযোগিতা করেননি, বরং কেসটা পুরো যাতে তাড়াতাড়ি করে মিটিয়ে দেওয়া যায় সেই চেষ্টাই করছিলেন। যেরকম তাড়াতাড়ি পোস্টমর্টম হয়ে যাবে, তাড়াতাড়ি বডি নিয়ে পুড়িয়ে দেবেন।
Meanwhile, over 70 Padma awardee doctors have also written a letter to Prime Minister Narendra Modi demanding strict and time-bound punishment for perpetrators of crime against the women and healthcare professionals. The demand also includes implementation of a special law ensuring protection of healthcare workers. On the other hand, CBI is now intensifying its investigation, with the Kolkata cops handing over the victim's diary to the CBI sleuths. Sandeep Ghosh, the former principal of RG Kar Hospital, has also been grilled for the third consecutive day. Sanjay Roy, the only accused so far arrested in CBI's custody, underwent a psychological evaluation by forensic doctors. And in the middle of all this, there also seems to be a rift in the TMC. Senior MP Sukhendu Shekhar Roy once again demanded CBI questioning of Kolkata CP over the suicide theory. This seems to have raised the hackles of the TMC, who called his demand illogical.
Honorable MP Sukhendu Shekhar Roy जी जो ट्वीट किया, पुलिस कमिश्नर को कस्टोडियल इंटरोगेशन चाहिए, ये जो डिमांड है इसको हम ऑपोज कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि आफ्टर गेटिंग information, Honorable CP Vineet Goyal, he has done his best within 12 hours. An accused has been arrested.
Now, earlier in the day, high drama was also witnessed outside Salt Lake Stadium in Kolkata as thousands of football fans hit the streets after a highly anticipated football match between Mohun Bagan and East Bengal was suspended. The reason given by Kolkata cops was that they could not provide security and that they had received some intelligence that there could be some miscreants who could try to create law and order issues. Now, fans slammed the TMC government, saying that Mamata government is scared that the audience could stage a protest in the stadium, demanding justice for trainee doctor.
अभी यहाँ पे जो जितना सारे सिक्योरिटी आप देख रहे हैं, इतना सिक्योरिटी वहाँ पे देने से आपका मैच बन जाता। हम लोग यहाँ पे ना लाठी लेके आए हैं, ना बॉम्ब लेके आए, कुछ लेके। हम लोगों का एक ही बात है कि जो मैच यहाँ पे बंद कर दिया गया है, ठीक है, वो मैच सिर्फ बंद इसीलिए कर दिया गया है क्योंकि आज खेल की नहीं है। मोहन बागान, ईस्ट बंगाल सब एक संग आज यहाँ पे प्रोटेस्ट के लिए आया था कि मैदान पे चिल्लाएंगे, इस जस्टिस के लिए चिल्लाएंगे, लेकिन यहाँ का सरकार सिर्फ इसलिए इसको बंद कर दिया है क्योंकि उसको पता था अगर 80,000 लोग वहाँ पे चिल्लाएंगे तब उनको पता होगा कि 80,000 का आवाज कितना दूर तक जाएगा, और इसीलिए इसको यहाँ पे बंद कर दिया गया।
हमारा ये मैच रोक दिया गया, सिक्योरिटी रीजन। आज देखिए कितना सिक्योरिटी दिया है, तो ये कहाँ का इंसाफ हुआ? आप इधर बोल रहे हो कि सिक्योरिटी के लिए हमसे इतना सिक्योरिटी नहीं दे पाएंगे, और कितना पुलिस अब खड़ा कर दिया, 500-600 पुलिस अब खड़ा कर दिया, तो ये एकदम गलत किया। और हम लोग ये इसका जो एजिटेशन है ये हम करेंगे।
वी वांट जस्टिस। अगर आज स्टेडियम में मैच होता 60,000 दर्शक हम लोग एक ही सुर में गाना गाते। पहली बार इस बंगाल मोहन बागान के दर्शक आपस में मिलकर एक ही स्लोगन गाते। इसको सरकार को क्या प्रॉब्लम है? आप मुझे बताइए उनकी घर में तो माँ बहन बेटी है, आज उनके साथ होता तो वो क्या आवाज नहीं उठाते?
Now, the BJP is accusing Mamata Banerjee government of laxity and inefficiency. BJP is asking, how can the Kolkata police, that is not even capable of providing security to a stadium, secure people of the state?
Yet another evidence of Mamata Banerjee's government's complete incompetence and law and order failure has come to the fore when the West Bengal police has cancelled the permission granted for 18th August match in Kolkata, which was one of the most awaited matches between East Bengal and Mohun Bagan, citing that there are security reasons and they cannot provide security cover. If you can't protect a stadium, how will you protect the entire state with crores of people? This means you have admitted you're incompetent.
Sources are also now saying that the West Bengal governor has sought time to meet with the Home Minister as well as the Health Minister. We'll keep you updated on that front as well. Taking a very quick break.
The News Hour Special Edition.